Welcome to another episode of the Perspective Podcast. This is episode 53, and this is the second episode that I'm recording in a day. I recorded the first one, and it completely messed up the video footage. It delayed with everything, and therefore I have to film again. In a moment, I really was on the verge of crying. I nearly cried because of how annoying it is, because I was actually excited for the episode. I was like, yo, this is a really good episode. I was enjoying it, and I was doing it on Riverside, like in a more way that is like it's better, it's smarter, instead of doing it like proper manually. But I guess God is like, you still have to do it manually and wait for it to export and do all the long ways to get the podcast out. So here we are again. There's nothing else I'd rather do than this, even though it gets so annoying that I have to sit for another 45 to 50 minutes to talk about the same thing that I just spoke about already. To anyone who wants to know what perspective means, it's a way to have an open mind and to have an open way of seeing life, just an open perspective. There's so many ways that you can be closed-minded, and I'm one of them. Sometimes I can be closed-minded and I don't want to open into that new thing or be open to that suggestion of what someone is saying. I don't want to listen to people because it's just so easy to just follow your path of what you want to do without looking or without having an open mind. I feel like not having an open mind is such a self-sabotaging thing in life. Having an open perspective will be a better way for you to live your life, for you to enjoy it, and for yourself and your people without even realizing. And that's one way for me to preach, like, open your perspective, because there's so many beautiful things out there that having an open view of life, having an open perspective is beautiful. It really makes you less defensive and it makes you more open to things. The more open and the more defenseless you are, the more beautiful life becomes. And I want to be that man to spread that message to people, to like open your perspective, open your horizon, open your heart, because once you have an open heart and an open mind, life is so much beautiful. And it can be scary, like, in a way, to have an open mind, because you feel like you're losing that sense of yourself. Having an open mind is the best way of vulnerability, love, passion. It's really the way to get your best version of yourself out there, because you attract that openness. You attract it. You attract yourself to that love. You attract yourself to all those things around you without you even realizing. So I want to continue to push that message out there, to remain open, to have an open mind, to have an open perspective, because there's nothing beautiful. This year has been an amazing way for me to learn about that, because I can be very close-minded, or it's been very conflicting. I'll say that for the least. This year has been very conflicting, and not only in the 19th day of the year, it's been very conflicting. I've been having a lot of open and honest conversations with my family, my friends, a lot of changes in my life and in the way that I see life, which can be very difficult. But again, it's if I don't do that or say that thing, then it's a disrespect to myself, and that's the last thing I want to do. And that's an important thing. That one thing that you want to be open to or to do, don't disrespect yourself by not doing it. Always take that step and realize, okay, how are you feeling or what you want to do. That's the way that I view my life. Well, that way that I view my intuition, and the way that I go about my day, or what I want to do and how I'm feeling, because we all need that moment of realization. And it's all about the awareness. So yeah, my awareness really does come from my mistakes that I make, from what I've done in the past. I'm thinking, okay, I've done this previously, so should I do this again? Or if this has happened here, should I do this now? Like, it's mad how being aware or making mistakes can really help your life in a way that you don't even realize. But yeah, honestly, have that awareness. Mistakes are really good. Mistakes, see, it's bad to say that, but mistakes or things that don't happen in the way that you want are really just stepping stones to where things are going to be better in your future without you even realizing. And with that will come with more chaos, but the things that you've learned is going to better you in the future. So just keep that in mind. And right now, my laptop is going crazy. It really may be that time for a new laptop. Like, hear this. A$AP Rocky dropped his album, Don't Be Dumb. And I'm going to talk about the album and what I like and what I don't like. So, Don't Be Dumb, after a 7 to 8 year long hiatus of not dropping an album. And in my opinion, I like it, but I do feel like it's a bit safe compared to his other drops. I feel like his most cohesive album has been At Long Last ASAP or Live Long ASAP or whatever you call it, those albums. And I feel like his most experimental and my personal favorite of his is Testing, because he really pushed that boundary and he really went further. And with this album, Don't Be Dumb, I don't feel like there's that. I don't think it's that album that's like stuck out to me yet. I need more time with it because it's just dropped. I've only listened to it twice, but it's an album that is safe. It's still good, but I do feel like compared to his other albums, it's not as it's just not all that to me anyway. And I don't want that to sound negative, but I like it. I just need more time with it. I need more time with it. My favorite songs of the album is Whiskey and No Trespassing. Those ones there are the most like original and just smooth like butter. Of course, I like Stay Here for Life. It's mad how Brent Fires is on that one, and it's mad how that was originally meant to be Brent Fires' song, but ASAP was like, you know what, let me put it on my album. And I guarantee you, Brent wasn't even going to use it for his album because it didn't drop. So he was like, you know what, you can take it, and they made a good song, which you know what, I think it's sick, but I like the album, and I'll say that again. I like the album. I'm not gonna be a hater of it. I just feel like because I'm so used to his Testing era, right, where it was very experimental, I would have appreciated if it had a bit more of like something different. He achieved the ability to just do different things and master it. It would have been good to see him master that into this new project from everything that he's done and to put it into the album, because I don't feel like he was able to do that with this album. Maybe I'm still stuck in that Testing era. Probably I am. I just want that experimental sound from him because he's really perfect in that. But hey, we got what we got. And I still haven't seen the music videos yet. So I'm actually excited to see the music video for Helicopter and Punk Rocky. The maddest thing is as well, I didn't listen to them songs when they were a single because I wanted to go into this album fresh without knowing or hearing the music. And I just wanted to, just have a fresh listen to this album because it's been a long wait. I think that's a good way when listening to an album, to listen to the album or the songs when it drops instead of listening to the singles. Sometimes I'm just eager that I'm just gonna be like, I'm gonna listen to the single, and then just when the album drops, I'm just gonna skip that song. When really and truly, like, you should just listen to the album as a whole. Like, there's nothing better than that, but sometimes it can be difficult because if, for example, like Drake or Travis was gonna drop, I'm damn well gonna listen to that song, like. But it's the fact that, why I did that is because obviously I knew that ASAP was dropping his album on April. I knew that he was dropping, and he's been releasing songs, 2 singles 2 weeks prior. I'm like, okay, I can wait 2 weeks to listen to the album. If an artist has a single coming out and they haven't said a date of an album that's dropping, I'm like, of course I'm gonna listen to this because you never know how long they're gonna take to drop an album. Like, you never know how long they're gonna take. Like, imagine if I didn't listen to, what's that song that Drake dropped? What did I miss? Imagine if I did not listen to that at all. Imagine, and just like, I'm just gonna wait for the album, bro. I'd be waiting for a long time. Or say, for example, Butterfly Effect. That was a single for Asteroid. Imagine just not listening to that and waiting until the album drops. Like, what are we doing here? Like, you may as well just listen. So there's a flip of a coin to every argument, but I'm still gonna wait depending on how long the album's gonna take to drop. I think that makes sense. The songs that I did not like on the album was Shut the Fuck Up. I understand it's got a rock type feel to it. Probably would be Tim Burton's favorite song on the album. Imagine, because it has the most Tim Burton effect. Cool, I understand, but I'm not really a fan of it. I think it's a bit too much for me. Maybe I need to listen to it again, but I'm just not a fan of it. Stop Snitching. Maybe I need to listen to that one again because it was cool when I was listening to it, but I wasn't as, like, engaged with it. And Air Force, but again, maybe I need to listen to it again. These are just off first few listens, so I need to listen to it again. I need to listen to them again. But I do like the interrogation skit that he did when he was basically just talking his shit, saying, I don't need to explain anything to anyone. There's a beauty behind that because it does highlight confidence. It highlights, just that self-esteem that you don't need to explain yourself to nobody, or you don't need to do anything for anyone. Just you're doing what you love to do. You write poems and you get things out there, and that's all you do. You know, they don't know you, like the audience, they do not know you, and they may think they know you, but they don't, you know. And that's a great part of the album that I liked. And the intro order of Protection is a good way to start an album. You know, it's been such a while that you had to explain like it's been a while, because Broski has been through a lot during those past years. So it's nice for him to explain that, and then for him to get into the album with Helicopter, which is a good song. That's a perfect song to play at the gym. Store Your Flow is good, but I do feel like I'm over the Drake beef stuff. However, when Drake releases his album, he's probably going to be talking about that stuff. So it's like, you know what? I understand. And then Stay Here for Life, I already explained that. Player, I need to listen to that one again. No Trespassing, I like that. Oh, that's my favorite. That's one of my favorites. No Trespassing. Stop Snitching, need to listen to that again. Punk Rocky is good. Whiskey Me is a good one, and Robbery. Don't Be Dumb, Trip Baby. I like it because it has Clairo's sample, and I only realized that because I saw it off an Instagram post, and I was like, you know what, maybe I do like that song. And then the end, I wasn't really keen on it, but then when I saw that Will I Am is on, I'm thinking, damn, Will I Am was one of my favorite artists when I was growing up, so maybe I like it a little bit more. And then you got SWAT Team and Fish and Steak. Those two songs are amazing. That it really should just be on the main disc. I don't know why it's on disc 2, but probably if you get the vinyl, then it's gonna be on the disc 2. But if it's on vinyl, then this album is gonna be cut into like five. No, this album is gonna be cut into 2 or 3. SWAT Team and Fish Steak is good. I like Tyler the Creator's contribution to the album. The one word that they kept saying is gats. Like gats as in the shoes, the Margiela gats, because those are nice shoes. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm just realizing A$AP Rocky's really into fashion, and I'm going to Paris tomorrow for Fashion Week. Will he be in Paris? But if it's his album, then he's probably going to be doing a lot of album press. But it would be nice to see him during the Fashion Week. I'd actually love to see him during that period. That would be a good, you know what, yeah. When we go to Paris, the content is going to be going up. You know, this was something that I paid for in advance in like the start of December, and it's going to be that season where we're going to be in Paris. We're going to be in Paris. I may do an episode in Paris and just be early. Should I? Nah, we've got too much things going on when we're in Paris. Do we? A$AP Rocky, Don't Be Dumb. It's a good album, and it's an album that requires a lot of time to listen to again, because I'm still on the fence if I like it as much as I thought I do. I do like it, but it's like, I've heard better. Testing was a better album. Talking about A$AP Rocky's album, I got to talk about his album on national radio, on the BBC Radio 1. That is crazy. We're starting the year off great. This was off an opportunity that I never thought was going to happen. So I got an email off this lady. Shout out to her. She's the GOAT. She is the absolute GOAT. She saw my TikTok video of me talking about A$AP Rocky's album, and she wanted me to talk about it and just to say my takes of what I think of the album. Everything that I said here is everything that I said on the radio. Like, I think it's nice, but I do feel like it's safe. And I'm still happy I said that. I'm not going to be no glazer. I'm going to be real with what I think. I'm going to be honest. And I do feel like you played it safe. But anyway, yeah. I got to be on the radio. I literally woke up at 5 a.m. to listen to the album so that I'll be ahead, so that I have things to talk about for this album. Woke up at 5, and the call was meant to be at 6:15. The call was not until 7 a.m. So I was thinking, damn, I could have just had an extra hour of sleep, but it's better to be ahead than to not be ahead. So I was like, you know what, I can't complain, because who gets this opportunity as often? None of the people that I know have had this opportunity. Not a lot of people get this opportunity. So I was like, you know what, let's do that. Let's get that going. And I'm happy to do it tired. It doesn't matter what time of the day. Let's go. So yeah, it's a blessing to have the opportunity to be on radio, BBC Radio 1. I literally told my mom, my sister, and my 2 mates. I was kind of embarrassed at the start because it got to 12:45, which is the time slot where my section was going to be in there. And not only, it wasn't until 12:57 that they did my section. So I was waiting for damn near 15 minutes. Everyone was waiting. Like, my mum was messaging me saying, I don't hear you. My sister was messaging me, and I had my phone on D&D because I was recording. So I was like, damn, I know they're thinking what is going on, because I was thinking that too. And then when I heard my voice, I was like, yes. I was like, yes, we're so back. So yeah, that was a major achievement, because I don't hear a lot about this, and it was a sick experience to be able to do that. I got to say hello to ASAP. So this was at Rolling Loud 2022 in Portugal, and I was with my boys. This was like the first Mandem holiday. Amazing holiday, to be fair. It was great, and it was to the point that when ASAP Rocky started, me and the boys were far behind. But if you know your ways to go through a crowd, when everyone's jumping, you just like cut corners. So we literally just did that, and then before you know it, I'm near the rails, and ASAP is just walking up and down. I'm thinking, alright, it's that season. I'll go on my phone and I type the like big bold text on Snapchat, and then I put my phone up like this, and I'm like waving, and then he sees it and he waves back. I'm thinking, yes, yes. I had like a little fangirl moment, and then I look down, I look around, and then only realized later that Rihanna was there. I'm thinking, damn, it's kind of crazy. But yeah, man, yeah, that was an experience and a half, and yeah, that whole weekend at Rolling Loud was sick. Even I got to say hello to Jack Harlow. I got to speak to Ski Mask, which is crazy. I wanted him to take my phone and to record, but he just wasn't. He was just showing me his chain. I was like, I don't care about your chain. I don't care about your chain, bro. I'd want you to take my phone. But yeah. Now looking back, I'm like, okay, that was fun, but I wish I would have had like a real life interaction than just for him to take my phone. It's a bit naive, and I realize that now. Like at that age, I did not care. I just wanted him to record so that, it can be like, oh, look what I was doing. I was with Ski Mask, but it doesn't matter. Growing up in this creative world really does change your mind, or just growing up, period. Like, I'm still young, and I'm not going to try act like an old or an unk. I'm going to act like a youthful man, because that's the best way to live. A youthful, wise man with a lot of learning and lessons that can either break you or shape you, and that's facts. But yeah, that was a sick experience to be able to speak to him at Rolling Loud, and just to have that interaction. Going to Rolling Loud really made me open my eyes that like, I love this stuff. I love this, and here we are 4 years later, creating content consistently, making a podcast twice in one day, from the first one that completely messed up. It would be nice to see A$AP Rocky to go on tour, to see him. See, this is where things change, because I made a goal this year that I'm not going to go to any concerts or festivals. Well, not going to pay for any. So far, I haven't paid for any this year. I haven't, paid. All the ones that I'm going to are either ones that I'm being invited to, or ones that people have paid for me. So, yeah, because it's a way to, I gotta be wiser, be better with my spending. I think that is one of my problems. Like, I would just do too much, and it's like, can't do that, man. I really had to sacrifice and say no to those things, because at the end of the day, like, I see this as a long-term thing, and I don't want to be spending ridiculous cash on concerts or festivals. At least have 1 year to just buckle down, because realistically, 1 year is not that long. 365 days, like it is, but I'd rather be smarter with what I spend my money on. Like, we've got a brand, we've got clothing to invest on. I can't keep going to concerts every time. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah. That's another thing, another conflict that I've been going through. But yeah. So if anyone wants to pay for my A$AP Rocky ticket when he does a tour, if he ever does one, I will be there. You can message me, and I will be there with no doubt, because I want to see him. I want to see him. I want to see the handsome man. Speaking of him being a handsome man, I'm reading this book called Art of Seduction, and it's talking about how people are just the different seducers in life. And A$AP Rocky is a clear dandy, or a clear, I forgot the first one, but it's a guy who's just he's attractive, right? And he knows how to present himself. That's the first one. And you got the dandy that he's in tune with his feminine side, and he's good with that. And, with the things that he wears, he wears a lot of like quilts. He wears a lot of like just different clothes that are just not a typical guy would wear. He gets his nails done, and with that comes with a lot of hate, because of course of how different and how feminine it may look. And that's okay. I feel like when you know yourself, when you're confident within yourself, people will hate on that and people will have things to say, and he clearly does not care. And that's similar to Playboy Kai, they do not care, which is why they're so successful with what they do, because they're doing what they're doing because they want to. I think it can be so daunting to do those things, but realistically, it's a way of expressing your art. I feel like in this life, we're all just going to grow and to evolve, and you can't be stuck on that one thing. You gotta evolve and you gotta grow and you gotta just try something new, like fashion wise. That's also another reason why I'm going to Paris. I want to be able to see different styles, the way people dress. Paris is a place that for a lot of people have a lot of different takes. They say it's a good place, they say it's a bad place, and they all say that French people are rude. And I want to see that in first person. I want to see that in first person because, of course, not everyone's going to be nice, not everyone's going to be, down to earth. But I want to see for myself. You never know, I may have the best time in Paris and be like, yo, I love that city. I gotta go back. You know what I mean? But yeah, you never know. And I'm open to just explore the city. I'm there for 4 days, so it will be a good time to just get out there and just to see what the people and how the things are going, how it's fashion, and also just the music culture. Of course, I will not be going to any events and stuff. I'm being serious. Like, this is the period that I'm marathon training, and I don't want to be in an environment with like drinking and all that stuff, because I'm focusing, but there's that temptation that's like, oh, why can't you just like go to that one thing? Like, what's wrong? But I can't, and I'm not going to. If I do, that wasn't me. That was not me, not at all. And the thing is, like, I can still go to these things, right? 100%, I still can. But am I really going to? It's a very weird thing. Like, when you make sacrifices, it really does get in the way with like spirit and flesh. Like, your flesh really wants to do that, but your spirit is like, no. You've put yourself onto one task, stick to it. But in a moment, it's so challenging because you want to, break and do that thing, but you just can't because, on the other side is that delayed gratification. Delayed gratification is so important it can eat your life sometimes because it's like, damn, I want to just do that one thing. I want it now. But, taking that time for patience and just get it done, you'll feel better in the end. And it's something that I've got to learn and grow with. That's another perspective thing to learn. Just allow that time and allow that faith, because it's only going to get more difficult and challenging. But as long as you have that intuition, that faith, you're on top of the world. Nothing can ever stop that. And just keep that in mind. That's all you can do. With it being 2026, everyone's on this topic of 2016 and how it was a good era. Me personally, I enjoyed it, but I didn't think it was that much of a good year. I think the best part of 2016 was probably the music. The music was good. But other than that, like, there was nothing spectacular about it to me anyway. I don't think it was. Maybe there was something traumatic in 2016 that I went through that I didn't really enjoy that year that much. But like, it just wasn't all that for me. It wasn't. I was 13 in 2016, so I was just chilling. I was always playing on my Xbox. I was in high school, so I was just going to high school, playing on my Xbox, listening to my tunes. Literally nothing major like was happening in my life, bro. Because I mean, what year am I in? Year 8 or year 9? I'm in one of them years. But yeah, it was a good year, but it was like nothing major. The music was amazing. We got Blonde, Lemonade, Views, Uzi versus the World, so many albums, Life of Pablo, so many different albums, bro. Like, it was a phenomenal year for music, and I really liked that time. Post Malone dropped his album, Stoney, like, yeah, bro, that was a top tier year for music. Like, I really enjoyed it. Justin Bieber didn't release an album. He released that 2015, but but yeah, bro, that was such a phenomenal year for music. I remember when I downloaded Views because he released it on Apple Music for like a week before it was meant to be on like streaming platforms. So he released an Apple Music, and me having a Samsung was like, I'm still gonna get that shit. So I remember I got it illegally downloaded, and I remember I was listening to, my favorite at that time was With You, and I remember listening to the album and then people thinking, how have you got this? How have you got this? I'm thinking, yo, I'm gonna gatekeep this. I'm gonna gatekeep it. But yeah, that was an era. Like, With You was really my favorite when Views dropped. And I still really love that album. But I feel like my favorite song on Views right now, Keep the Family Close, or Redemption, or Views. Those songs there, All You With Me. Now, Keep the Family Close, Redemption, and Views. Views is a very good lyrical song that he's done, one of his best, especially the second verse when he says, I got a pure soul, I don't do the hate, you don't worry about fitting in when you custom made. What a song that is, bro. What a lyric. He says so many good things on that song that really does keep me in check, like, yo. And ever since 2016, bro, I've been tapped into that song. However, Views wasn't, it took years for me to like that song, Views, or for me to listen to it. First listen, I wasn't really a fan of Views, I'll be honest. I was thinking, what is this? Because I was so heavily into the If You're Reading This, It's Too Late, and the what else? What Time to Be Alive, that I wasn't really tapped in. Of course, you got the One Dance, you got the Too Good, you got the Hotline Bling. In my opinion, I wasn't really a fan of Hotline Bling. It's a good song, but looking back, I'm just like, it's not really my type of song. Hype was my favorite when the album came out. 9, Rest of the Road Flows, Faithful, Controller, Still Here, Grammys, Child's Play. What a song. You know what? There's a lot of good. Fire and Desire. Oh my gosh, Fire and Desire. What a song. Summer's Over, Interlude, Pop Star. I wasn't really a fan of Pop Star. Yeah. This is actually a really good album. Such a good album. His music style has just changed, hasn't it, bro? Anti, one album. I really like the song Higher off that album. Favorite song off Anti may have to be Consideration, probably. I'd say Same Old Mistakes, but it's not her song, so it's like I can't really say that. James Joint is a good song. Bro, she's so clear. She does not have to drop music ever again because she has her Fenty, and she probably will never drop music again. She's not the same woman that she was 10 years ago. Literally, she's not the same woman no more. She's got 3 kids, like, which is mental. Like, it's crazy, bro. It's mad how, music can be a big chapter in your life. Sometimes you'll think that they're that same person, but they're not. They've just changed. Like, for example, Blonde, like Frank Ocean's probably not even the same guy. I mean, he's probably still the same, but like with the way things are going on in his life, he probably will not be on the same wavelength that he was when he made Blonde. A lot of things changed, but yeah, 2016 was a good time, but I do feel like, past that 2016 era, like we're in 2026, these are our prime years, and we shouldn't be too attached to a year point, even though it was good. But this year 2026 is our prime years, bro. No matter what age you are, these are your prime years, and take it, like, yep 2026, take it further. Go for that thing that you want to do and take it further. Not keep thinking about the past, or don't fall into any trends, because you don't want to do that. Like, this is our time now. Nothing can stop us and nothing will stop us. And go after that thing you want to do, like, every day. I was listening to a podcast and he was saying, I wouldn't do anything for money if I wouldn't do it for free. And of course, in life, you can't get everything you want. Like, you have to go through that difficult thing. You have to do that job that you don't want to do for you to, just survive, which is true. But sometimes, bro, like, you really got to do that thing that you would do for free, because that thing can really be your career without you even realizing. But you're too drawn into that one thing because it's the way your life is. And I completely understand life is difficult, but don't ever settle for less. Like, you really can set yourself further than anything. Just all about that mindset and just that faith. And one thing I've been thinking today was, we all have that thing that we want to do, but with that comes with elimination. There's so many things that we do, but we really have to eliminate our time, our space, the things that we do, like what to do or what can we eliminate to master that one thing that we do, because doing too much can clog up so many things. And, I've been realizing that, and especially with like creating content and with this podcast and clothing, like there's so many things, but it really is about like being specific and just taking one step at a time, because I can't keep doing so many things. It gets to a point where it gets too much. Having that passion and that love for that one thing is like, it's not going to stop. Don't ever limit yourself, because you can do it and you will do it. You will continue to rise and to be that better person without you even realizing. So go after it every day and just make that impact. Serve someone, like do whatever you want to do, bro, because in this life, bro, yeah, you gotta go after it, bro. Since I've been making content about music, well, bands and all that stuff, I've been listening to more of these like just band music, and I've made a playlist. I haven't made it yet, or haven't put songs in it yet, but I've made it. It's called Bandwagon, right? And it's just about a playlist that of just like indie, alternate, like just bands, all that music into one space. I think it's that time now. My knowledge with that type of music has grown. That is perfect for me to actually get that going. So I've made a playlist. It's called Bandwagon, and it's gonna be a lot of band music, or just a lot of that type of music in that playlist. You know, I feel like I'm certified. I'm able to make that type of playlist now. And it's actually sick. I was on a run and I was just listening to something. I was thinking, why don't we just put all of this like music into those playlists, because it just makes sense. You know, that music is top tier. I love Sam Fenner's music, especially the song TV Dinner. And he's got another song that I was like really feeling. Remember My Name. Wow. That song will have you emotional because there's a lot of emotion in that song. But yeah, there's a lot of like songs that I want to put into that playlist. And there's a lot of songs I want to put into my other playlist, like the whole lot Euphoria or the gym playlist, but they just don't mix because of the genre. However, it can work, but I want to have just one playlist of just that mix, that perfect blend into one. So we'll get that done. We'll probably do that on the flight or something. I don't know, but we'll get it going. I can't wait to go to Paris. I'm really excited to go there. First trip of the year, and we will have a time. We will have a time. Life and fitness update. I have 12 weeks into my marathon, and the increase of the miles have increased. I'm now doing like 15Ks. This week I've got to do a 20K. Ugh, don't want to. But yeah, the miles of running have got to increase now, and we're getting closer and closer. And it's really happening. It's happening before my eyes, bro. It's just before it was 16, 15 weeks. Now it's 12 weeks. And I'm excited for it, but yeah, it's getting closer and closer, and I'm here for it. But yeah, I'm feeling good. I need to get new running shoes because this is, and I want to get new running shoes. It's a blessing to be able to get new running shoes. For me to be in my optimal health, I've got to invest in what I put on my feet. Running what over 1,000 steps, that can ruin your body if you don't have good shoes on. So yeah, it's important. And I'm taking a step in my life that I've decided to quit my bartender job that I was doing and fully go all in with content and perspective. And this is a decision that I've been thinking about for a while. It's been something that's been in my mind, and I'm just like, you know what? This is a time we can do it. It's been working what we're doing. Let's just take it and just see what happens, because I'm not willing to miss out on an opportunity due to just fear or not really to take it further. And of course, the best thing is probably to just stay there a bit longer until it shoots up and then you're like, okay, I can leave now. But I had to trust my intuition and my gut, and it was saying one thing, and I've got to trust it. And that may lead to like family not being okay with it, and that's okay. I've got to realize that not everyone will be happy with the decision that you make, especially when you put yourself first, and especially when you're doing things that your gut tells you it's the hardest thing to do, but it's the best long term, and it's something that I'm happy to take forward. And there was fear because I've taken this step previously and it did not work at all. It messed up, but I can't not listen to myself for that self-respect and just the love that I have for just creating things, creating an impact. Just this podcast, the clothing behind it too, it's deeper than me, and I'm not going to neglect it because there's so much that can be done. And when it's not done, like, it hurts, bro, because you never know how much that can help someone, and I don't want to waste my opportunity or waste that time. And, I've been working for 4 years in jobs and just industries, and the one that stuck out to me ever since is just creating content. Yeah, so this is a new chapter in my life. I'm still at the job. I leave end of January, and It's scary because it's the unknown, isn't it? But there's something beautiful behind it. Anything can happen, and I'm willing to just go into this path with an open mind and an open heart. And yeah, this is a new period. Like, I've got no thought that it will go wrong. Of course, things will not go. Some things will not go the way that I want. But after watching Marty Supreme, as what Timothy says, I'm uniquely positioned to be the best. Every day and every second, nothing is ever going to stop. And every day is just a new opportunity to just go higher and higher. While be content in this life. It can be so easy to want more. It's human nature to want more. But being grateful for what we've got now is really what is most important. So yeah, that's what's going on in my life. Taking that leap forward and fully sending it with content and perspective. And who knows where it would take us. It will damn well take us higher than ever. So yeah, let's keep growing and learning and just experiencing life, man. There's so much beautiful things out here that I can't settle for less. Thank you guys for watching the episode. I'm grateful that you guys are able to just hear me waffle about my life, what's going on, while talking about music and stuff. I hope you're able to listen to new music and to just get yourself out there to new things to listen to. Yeah, I hope that you stay listening to new music, opening your horizon, opening your perspective, and stay open to new things because there's a blessing out there. I'll see you guys next week with a new perspective after being in Paris. Episode 53 of the Perspective Podcast. Have a good week, and I'll see you guys later.